Today, we're diving into a story that kicks off with two events that could not be more different. We've got a quiet act of generosity at a party, and then a public act of absolute fury at a holy site. And get this, they happen within days of each other, and they're both about the same person. So let's unpack this.
So right away, here's the puzzle we're faced with. How can one person be the guy who brings joy and saves the day in one moment, and then turns into an uncompromising, table-flipping disruptor in the next? The source puts this contrast right up front, and that's what we're here to figure out. Why start the story this way? Okay, let's jump into the first event. We're not starting in some grand palace or a massive temple. Nope, we begin at a simple wedding celebration in a small town called Cana.
So picture it. A party's in full swing, everyone's having a good time, and then disaster. The wine runs out. Now, in this culture, that is a huge deal. It's not just a minor inconvenience, it's a massive social humiliation for the families who are hosting. Jesus' mother sees what's happening and just turns to him and says, they have no more wine.
And what's so fascinating here is how he handles it. There's no big spectacle, no grand announcement, no, hey everyone, watch this. He just gives these quiet, simple instructions to the servants. Fill up these jars, draw a little out, and take it to the head waiter. Seriously, only a handful of people have any idea that he's even involved.
But the result of these quiet instructions, well, it's anything but small. The source tells us there were 6 big stone jars, and each one held 20 to 30 gallons. You do the math, that's as much as 180 gallons of wine. This isn't just fixing a problem, you know? This is an act of just over-the-top, extravagant generosity.
And this little quote just nails the quality of what happened. The guy in charge of the banquet, who has no clue where this new wine came from, is just blown away. He actually pulls the groom aside to praise him, because not only is there suddenly a ton more wine, but it is hands down the best wine they've had all night. So the party is saved, the hosts are honored, and it all happened behind the scenes.
Okay, so hold on to that image of the quiet creator at the party, because just a few days later, the entire mood shifts dramatically. The same guy from the wedding becomes a very public, very loud disruptor in the most secret place in Jerusalem. So now we're in the temple courts. It's Passover, one of the biggest religious festivals of the year, so the place is absolutely packed. But Jesus doesn't walk into a quiet place of prayer. He finds a chaotic, noisy marketplace. You've got people selling cattle and sheep for sacrifices, and others sitting at tables, exchanging money. And his reaction is, well, it's immediate, and it is aggressive. The source says he literally weaves a whip together and physically drives everyone out. The merchants, the cattle, the sheep, the whole shebang. He goes up to the money changers' tables, scatters their coins all over the floor, and flips the tables over. This is a loud, chaotic, and very intentional disruption. And the heart of the issue here is this total clash of perception. He looks at this sacred space and sees my Father's house, a place for worship. But what he's actually seeing in front of him is nothing more than a market. His actions are a powerful, physical rejection of that reality. He's trying to force the space back to what he believes is its true purpose. So naturally, the authorities come running and demand to know who he thinks he is, what gives him the right to do all this, and he doesn't give them a straight answer. Instead, he hits them with this cryptic challenge. The source later clarifies that he was talking about his own body, a kind of prophecy that his followers wouldn't really get until much, much later. So, wow, we have these two completely different moments. One is quiet creation, the other is loud deconstruction. How on earth do these fit together? Well, the source actually gives us the key to understanding it. This chart just lays it out so clearly. You go from a private party to a public sacred site, from a quiet act of creation to a loud act of disruption. But the really important part is that last row, purpose. The source tells us the wedding was to reveal his glory, his creative power, his generosity. The chaos at the temple, that was to demonstrate his zeal for God's house and his authority over it. They really are two sides of the same coin. And this is so important. The source uses a specific word for these events. It calls them signs. They aren't just random miracles or angry outbursts. A sign is an action that points to a deeper reality. So turning water into wine wasn't just a cool party trick. It was a sign of his glory. And clearing the temple wasn't just a riot. It was a sign of his authority. All right, so let's put it all together. What's the final picture these first two signs are trying to paint for us? What are we supposed to take away from this?
I think the big takeaway is that this narrative is, right from the start, introducing a character who is not simple. This is not a one-dimensional figure. It is deliberately presenting someone complex, someone who can bring overwhelming joy and abundance to a small party and can also bring fiery, uncompromising judgment to a corrupted sacred space. He is both a creator and a disruptor.
So by kicking things off with these two polar opposite events, the source establishes this incredible tension that's going to drive the whole rest of the story. And it leaves us, the audience, with the huge question. What happens when a person like this, who embodies both profound generosity and absolute uncompromising zeal, confronts the rest of the world?